Welcome to Pie Guys Pick'em. It is the fantasy football show. Jeremy will be joining us in about 20 minutes. He is just getting home, so I will begin. And just some overall fantasy football thoughts to go into this fantasy football season. Drafts are right around the corner. But before we do start that, I just wanted to mention that this is August 18th, is a very special day for me. My best friend had a birthday on this day, and unfortunately he passed during COVID. So, shout out to him, and I always think about him every August 18th. So, moving along to fantasy football thoughts for the season. I think the more as we move along in the analytics age and fantasy football become very, very mainstream, I find that a lot of these projections that we see on these fantasy football rankings website are more and more accurate. I believe the first overall pick last year was CMC. Okay, he got hurt, but after that, Chase, Jefferson, Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, all guys who had good seasons, and no surprise, again, they're at the top of the board this year with Mr. Jamar Chase being the consensus number one. Of course, he plays on a team with no defense and a very, very good offense and a very, very good quarterback and a very, very good wide receiver. So I think the rankings are pretty good. Like, even if you're a fantasy football noob, even if you've never played fantasy football before, if you just draft based on the rankings of whatever app you're using, Sleeper, Yahoo, ESPN, all these fantasy football apps, I think you can do pretty well. Watch this show, look at a couple of fantasy football charts, and you should be fine. I think, like I said, the quality of these rankings continues to get better as we move along each year. I think so. Obviously there's going to be surprises, there's going to be sleepers, there's going to be busts, there's going to be rookies that you've never heard of who end up being contributors. But like I said, the top 12 or the top 12, I think, and give or take a few names. So in terms of positions, I think the running back. We talked about this last year. The running backs have mattered more and more for the point spread. And I think for fantasy football, obviously running backs have always mattered. But I think, the top running backs really are head and shoulders above the rest because of many coaches, many groups transitioning to sort of running back by committee. We see a lot more running back by committee because of sort of the running backs don't matter theory. So these number one running backs like the Saquon Barkleys and the Christian McCaffreys, who are going to get 70-80% of the snaps, like they're just worth so much more. So despite that, we do see a wide receiver being the number one ranked player. But after that, there's a lot of running backs. Whereas a few years ago, the strategy was, you don't need to draft a running back. We just draft wide receivers. I think the running back right now is like you need a top running back. You need one of those early guys, a Saquon, a Bijan, Bucky Irving, someone who's going to carry the rock a lot. And then with wide receivers, I think there's just so many. There's a lot of good ones out there. So I think you can be obviously the elite ones are elite, but I think you can find top tier or near top tier production in the later rounds. Whereas running back, it's going to be hard and hard. But like I said, there are some running back by committees. And if you can pick out a good one, or you can pick out an RB1 who isn't very good, and maybe take an RB2, like I did last year to win my league. I took Bucky Irving late, very, very late in the draft, just based on Rachaad White isn't very good. And he ended up, helping me win. Obviously, Saquon helped as well, win one of my leagues. When you move to the tight end position, this is probably the position I have the biggest take on. That the first two guys, Bowers and McBride, are 10, 15 times better than the next guys on the board. I think if you don't get a Bowers or McBride, just wait. Like the rest of the guys are pretty much all the same in my opinion. I don't know all the same, but like they're comparable. Like Bowers and McBride kind of feel like Gronk and Kelsey from way back in the day, where it's like if you have one of those guys, you have a significant advantage at the tight end position, where the other tight ends are being used sparingly. Yeah, Tucker Crafts of the world, the Travis Kelce's of the world. I don't know Travis Kelce, he's getting up there in age, but Tucker Crafts and the red zone targets tight ends of the world. They're gonna, they're probably a little bit more valuable than some of the guys down the board, but not by much in my opinion. I think the top two guys are clear top tier, and after that, it's a big drop off. So if you either, in my opinion, you either draft one of the top two guys or you wait. Maybe wait till like the late rounds, and you can get a guy who's just as good as a 6th round tight end pick or a 7th round tight end pick. Is probably just as good as the guy at 11, 12. And it's probably almost guaranteed there's going to be a tight end guy you pick on the waiver wire list that's just as good as somebody drafted after the first two. So tight end, I really feel like it's top heavy. You move on to quarterback. There's a lot of good quarterbacks, but again, the big guys are such an advantage. It's like Daniels, Lamar, Allen, the guys who run, the guys who Hurts even, a little less because there's Barkley there, but like those guys I feel are really top tier. Johnny in the chat, it's Kyle Pitts year. So someone was side note. Someone was talking about Kyle Pitts the other day. Do you know the player who was drafted after Kyle Pitts? Anyone watching? Guess who was drafted after the next two players to be drafted after Kyle Pitts? Jamar Chase and Penny Sewell. So the Falcons really bad with that pick. That's all I'm going to say. But if you believe it, Kyle, you could probably get him in the 12th round. You don't need to, take him early. But I know there's there's a Kyle Pitts year. It's always a risk. But if he falls, take a chance on him like round 10, round 12. It's not the worst pick of the litter. And there's of course, like I said, the top tier ones are going to have an advantage. Your Jane Daniels, your Josh Allens, your Lamar Jacksons, Jalen Hurtses of the world, Joe Burrow. Those guys are pretty. You're probably going to go in the first 5-6 rounds, and then after that, there is a little bit of a drop off. I think when you get to your like Mahomes's, your second tier guys, Justin Fields. Who else is the second tier guy? Justin Herbert. Those guys are probably like significant tier below the top 5. Baker, that's another one. It's like it's a very good offensive line, very good receiving core, but there are games where Tampa just runs the ball. The run game has improved over the last few seasons. We'll talk about Tua later, but that's a very interesting topic. There will be definitely some Dolphins talk on the show. As we move along to defense and special teams, I don't think there's the Broncos and the Texans obviously and the Eagles were the elite defenses last year, both on the field and I don't know if Houston was too much fantasy was, but Denver and Philadelphia really good. I mentioned this last year. I like to take defenses based on their schedule. So if a defense has an easy schedule, they're gonna face a lot of younger quarterbacks or not very good quarterbacks or bad offensive lines. And I really think in the draft, you should prioritize because you can pick up a defense that's facing a bad team. We don't really know which teams are really we know in general, like the Giants, the Saints, the Browns, probably going to be bad. But after that, you don't really know who else is going to be bad. You don't really know who else is going to be surprising. So I like to draft your defenses for who they play early. If they have a good matchup week 1 and 2, that's kind of the defense I wouldn't mind, maybe picking in the 10, 11, 12 rounds. I like to draft the defense based on schedule, based on matchup early in the season, because you never know what's going to happen as the season goes along. We have a trade in the chat. I'll get to that after I get to kicker. But yeah, we talked last week on Thursday about the NFC West, and the 49ers have a really, really easy schedule. So I feel like 49ers players and the 49ers defense are going to be prioritized in drafting because they face, pretty easy teams, as rated in the market currently. And that does matter, especially for defense. So let's take a look at this trade, or grade, sorry. Taylor, Jacobs, Kittle, Adams, Cup, Henderson, Charbonnet, Debo, Addison, Scattaboo, Downs, Chubb, Murray, Dowdle, Butker, and the Eagles. Well, Butker and the Eagles defense, you have the premier defense and kicker there. Those are probably ranked right at the top of my defense and kicker list. Dowdle I like. Chubb I think is good. Murray, Downs I think could be good. He's a slot guy in a team that has a bad, that has like the quarterback can have happy feet. So that's always good. Scatterable was very, very good in college. I don't know what he's going to be like in the NFL. I think it's a good risk though. Addison, not so on him. Debo I like. Charbonnet I like. I think he's better than Kenneth Walker. Henderson's okay. Who's your first pick? Who's your one here? I guess it's Taylor. I guess you got like a late pick. Or Jacobs maybe. Jacobs is probably the one here. Not a fan of Jacobs at the one pick, but because I don't know, the Packers are weird and they'll run like Emmanuel Wilson had like a really, really good game last year. He's good. Like Jacobs is a solid pick, but I feel like Jacobs isn't like one of those like tier 1 broken guys like a Barkley or a CMC or a Chase. I don't know. Obviously, like if you got a late pick, like you're going to go with one of the lower tier guys, but so it's safe. Like Jacobs is a safe like 12th pick. Taylor, I don't like. I think the Colts are not that good, but they are in a bad division, so maybe there's value there. Adams, I think probably will be going to the Rams, so they spread the ball around a lot. Kittle's like that. The anomaly. We talked about the tight end, so there's 2 really, really good ones at the top, and there's a bunch at the like after that it drops off significantly. Kittle's like that weird one in the middle where he can be really, really good, but he's probably gonna be hurt for 6 games. So if I had this, full PPR. Okay, Jacobs does catch. I probably I'm higher on Green Bay has a good offensive line. Yeah. So. Jacobs, like I said, he's a safe pick. He's going to get you, the minimum 12 points or whatever a week. So he's very, very safe. So if your other team plays up, you don't have to worry about Jacobs. He's going to do fine every week. So it's a safe pick. But yeah, Kittle's kind of your risk factor here in terms of if he stays healthy, he's very, very good. I said 49ers priority because they have a bad schedule. But I'm not. He will win you a week for sure. But I love Charbonnet. I love Debo. And kicker defense, I love. I like Dowdle. I like Chubb. I like taking a shot at Scatterbo. I think he could win a league if he's any good because he was very, very good in college. Cup and Adams, we'll see. So, Cup, Adams, and Kittle are kind of the stuff. So yeah, probably give it a B+, A-. Solid. Nothing. Should I get Amon-Ra and T for Rice and Neighbors? Yeah, I would do that. I think Neighbors is probably borderline round 1. But T. Higgins and Amon-Ra are I know I make fun of T. Higgins a lot on the show here, but T. Higgins and Amon-Ra St. Brown are like the Bengals are going to be behind a lot, and we don't know what the Lions' defense is going to look like. So they're going to be throwing the ball a ton. Whereas Kansas City, sometimes they like to play it slow, and Rice is going to get, he's going to miss some time with the suspension. But obviously Malik Neighbors is definitely the highest ceiling. But Malik Neighbors and Amon-Ra are probably even. So yeah, I would definitely do that. T. Higgins, I value much, much more than Rashee Rice. T. Higgins is a wide receiver 1 on any other team except the Bengals, and maybe Minnesota. Like he's a wide receiver 1 on like what 85% of NFL teams. So yeah, I would do that trade. I will get to kicker here. Butker, I do believe, is very, very good kicker. We talked about that in Juan Pina's comment here. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think the kicker position, I have been, said that there are years where you can take a kicker early. I don't think this is one of them. I don't think there's a clear like a kicker who's going to win you. Like Brandon Aubrey last year was like a kicker that would win you weeks. And I would take him in like the 10th. Like Evan McPherson, his year, like he looked like he was going to win you weeks. Maybe the guy in Jacksonville, who knows? I mean, that guy, but he's on the Jags. You know what I mean? Like you want somebody on a good team. Butker, Boswell's obviously the Steelers kick a lot. He's probably, if you end up having to be like, I don't really like anybody, maybe I'll just take my kicker here. Chris Boswell and Harrison Butker are probably your way to go. Let me just pull up who's the top rated. It's Aubrey. I don't think Aubrey's the best kicker. I think Boswell and Butker are probably the guys I would have. I know like there people are low on them, but it's the situation. Like the Chargers are gonna go for it on fourth down a lot when it comes to Dicker's good. Dallas is a wild card. They have a new coach. People are sus on their, what's going on with Micah Parsons. Like, how many times are they going to be kicking field goals? And it's not McCarthy. Like, McCarthy loves Brandon Aubrey. Like, he loved him. He would put him out there all the time. I don't think he's the one. I think it's Boswell and Butker because we know the Chiefs will win a game however they need to win a game, and they trust Harrison Butker. And we know the Steelers love to kick. And Boswell's got a cannon of a leg. So those are my top two kickers. After that, I think there's no like awful kickers. Like Carlson's even good. Take a shot with the Jacksonville guy. Like Tyler Bass, I think is a bad kicker, but he's on the Bills. Like how many points is he going to get? Kicker. If you're playing with it, if you're not, I think playing with it just fun. Why not get everybody involved? The kickers matter. We talk about this all the time. If you have kicking issues, especially in the playoffs, so you have kicking issues in the playoffs, it's a problem. All right, so I'm going to get into my top 12. Just going to take a sip and drink here. My top 12 picks, I'll put them across the bottom when I'm done with them. So my top 12 picks. Number one ranked, I have Jamar Chase. Consensus number one. I'm not going to say anything. Number two, I have Christian McCaffrey. Now the injury concern is real, but he was number one last year, and they have a soft ass schedule. Like we went over that. I think I still have it. Let's see if I can pull it up. But look at this. We'll take a look at this schedule one more time. Come. I mean, you take a look at. I mentioned outside of the divisional games in Tampa Bay, they're probably going to be favored by 3 or more points in every game. You can run the ball on a lot of these teams. Seattle might be tricky. Houston and Tampa Bay might be tricky to run on. But every other team, they're going to run on New Orleans, Arizona, Jacksonville, the Giants, Chicago. Chicago's defensive strength is their secondary. Indian, Tennessee, probably going to be able to run there. Cleveland might give them trouble, but eventually, you can play screen games with McCaffrey in that game. Carolina, we don't need to talk about their defenses was super porous last year. But I mean, I just think with the schedule, it's going to be CMC is your 2. And then I have Saquon 3. I mean, he was obviously the offensive player of the year. I just think the Eagles' schedule is a lot tougher this year than it was last year. So maybe he doesn't have the season he had last year. Philadelphia obviously won the Super Bowl last year. He didn't get hurt last year. Maybe he gets hurt this year. I'm not going to say he will. Like McCaffrey's likely to get hurt too, but I just think that he would, I feel like he is on San Francisco, but I feel like just the upside's so high, much higher with McCaffrey, whereas Barkley, it's a tough schedule, and it's a very good offensive line. It's a very, very good offensive line, but I don't know if he's going to repeat that. Fourth, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. Fifth, I just think the Lions offense, they're going to score a lot. Monty didn't, Jahmyr Gibbs kind of took over the carries and the catches last year. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs is my fourth, and I value running backs a little bit higher because I think the drop off at running back is higher. Jeremy is backstage. I'll get him in as soon as I finish talking about my top 12 here. Justin Jefferson, number 5. I don't need to explain that. He's maybe the best receiver in the league. Top 2 for sure. I have Chase number 1 just because we know Chase's quarterback is good. Jefferson's quarterback's essentially a redshirt rookie. So Derrick Henry, 6. I don't care. He's old. This guy's a monster. He's a moose. He's on the best offense in the league, rated by the market right now. He scores touchdowns. Yeah, okay, he get pulled in the fourth quarter, but he could also win you the week by himself. I mean, that guy, he's the hardest running back to tackle, and he's on a good offense. 7, Bijan. I know everyone's high on Bijan. I got to see it to believe. I don't know why you're taking an Atlanta Falcon with the second overall pick. Good luck. I know they have a good O-line. He's been there for what, 3-4 years? Has he been the second best fantasy player? No. I don't know what, but every year will be, got to take Bijan. Yeah, not for me. He's good. I'm 7. He's, like I said, running back matters. Or running back is higher priority for me than wide receiver. Then we have CD at 8. Solid receiver. But Cowboy issues. Collins at 9. I love my boy Collins. He's so good. He has a little more handcuffs than Lamb, though. I know the Cowboys got Pickens, but Pickens is like, he gets one big catch and every so often. I think Lamb's still going to have the major bulk of the targets, and after them, it's pretty rough. Whereas Collins, Dell is there, and you can have the Dell games where Collins and the run the ball games where Collins doesn't get as many touches. 10, I have Bucky Irving. He's on like the second, third round of most people's things. I disagree. Tampa has a very, very good offensive line. I know they like to throw the ball a lot, but man, what he did last year, and he's fresh. He's clearly the number 1 guy now. He was getting 20 points in half-point PPR a week about last year. Bucky Irving, in my opinion, is too low. I have him higher. 11, Puka Nacua. Stafford, I have him a little lower than the market, just a touch because of the Stafford concerns. It is a concern, but he's just so good. He's going to beat people. And you have Devontae Adams on the other side. That in the red zone, I feel like Devontae Adams is who the opposing defense is going to key in on because he's been that guy. So Nacua might be one-on-one in the red zone. And if he is, he's getting a lot of touchdowns. And then 12, I mentioned how the tight end, I think, is super, super top-heavy. Brock Bowers is my 12. He was insane last year with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Like, he's going to be good. He's going to be better with Geno Smith. He's at least going to be good. And the tight ends are so, like it's him, McBride, and everybody else. So I think having him is such an advantage. I would take him at the tail end of the first round. So I'll post it at the bottom here. These are my top 12. Hey, let's welcome in Jeremy.
Hello.
Oh, sorry, I gotta get. There we go. 2-man view.
What up?
How's it going, Jeremy? Got the shades on.
I'm doing just fine. Yes, this is my guy, so my controversial takes aren't associated with me. I'm not a real person. All right, are we doing busts? Before that, I have 3 things to say. 2 of them are controversial, but if you two flags this, sorry in advance. All right. First thing is, fuck Trump. Second thing is, fuck AI. That shit's garbage. And the third thing is,
oh boy,
let's go Cowboys. This is our year. All right. Who are the
All right. Okay, so do you have any comments on my top 10 or?
I mean, we can just get into the busts. I think Gibbs over Bijan is kind of criminal, personally. Like they're both Sonic the Hedgehog. The Lions O-line probably is a lot better, but they have Monty, right? So it's like they have another guy who's going to take capacity away, while like Bijan is just going to get fed because the OC that used to not feed him is gone. So
so I've been hearing at a camp that they still like giving Algier the ball, but
I mean, I mean, but like you would agree that Monty is going to get more touches, right? Assuming everybody stays healthy.
Well, last year Gibbs got way more touches than he did the year before, so like it felt like he was getting the lion's share.
Same with Bijan. Same
No
with
pun
Bijan.
intended. Okay, yeah, but the Lions are just a better team. Like
That's true. That's true. Hey, the Falcons are kind of like a new team. The offense is new this year, right? Like the quarterback is just a new dude. We don't know what he's gonna do. He's
yeah,
probably gonna be
Penix too.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not like Kirk Cousins and like Desmond Ritter or whatever anymore, right? Like the offense should be respectable. Maybe there's a chance.
All right, so Gibbs, you'd say I guess you wouldn't say Gibbs is a bust, but just avoid him at
Oh,
4 or 5. Take him.
personal opinion. Personal opinion. Like Gibbs is obviously like the fastest running back in the league, so like he's super talented. But just
I
the way I
think
see
I
it.
think Achan is faster, but
Sure.
all right. My first potential bust. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Oh, not bust. He's not gonna be a bust, but he's somebody who's like teetering on first round selection, and I think he's probably like a third or fourth round guy, and that's Brian Thomas Jr. Like I know he was very good. He won people leagues last year.
You
He's
don't
but
like him? Like you wouldn't take him
no, I
even at
think
ADP?
I wouldn't take him. He might be a wide receiver too. This Hunter guy might be better. Like he was the second overall pick. They traded up for him. I think that the Jags are going to give Hunter a chance to be wide receiver 1. I know Thomas was good last year, but
Yeah, but
they have
having
a year of
two good
film on
wide
him.
receivers is like not inherently a bad thing, right? Like they can both eat. Like
No, I know, but I think like people have him ranked like 13th overall in some rankings. Like that's a little high.
yeah, I
Um,
view him like same kind of dude as like Malik Neighbors, where it's just like a second year wide receiver who showed out year one. Kind of question marks at the quarterback position. Um,
Yeah, like he's ranked right now wide receiver 5 on Fantasy Pros on he's ninth overall on
so who
Yahoo.
would
He's
you
a
who would you rank
13th
who would
overall.
you rank ahead of him?
Who would I rank at him? St. Brown, uh, Neighbors, Puka Nakua, AJ Brown,
Okay,
Drake
that's fair.
London. I don't know, London man, definitely McConkey. But who else catching the ball in the Chargers? Like, there's no handcuffs on the Chargers. You got a ton of handcuffs in Jacksonville. Well, definitely the main one being Travis Hunter, who I'm quite high on. I think like they went up to get him. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be. We want to make like the GM wants to look good. The coach they're going to package things to make Travis Hunter look good to get Travis Hunter open. You know what I mean? Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. will be wide receiver 1 for 3-4 weeks, but when the playoffs roll around in fantasy later in the season, I think Hunter might take his job, and then instead of getting 20 points a game, you're getting 10 to 15, right? With your second round pick.
So you think Travis Hunter is so talented that he's gonna just eat everything away from Brian Thompson Jr.?
No. I'm just saying I would rather take a guy who is the clear number 1 on the team.
Yeah, Brian Thompson Jr. right now.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. But Johnny says the Jags are run by idiots. Well, that's left to be seen. Okay, fair enough. I get it. Brian Thomas Jr. was very good last year. I don't know. I don't know. Like Ladd McConkey is number 1 wide receiver by like a mile on the Chargers. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
unless he gets hurt, he's wide receiver 1 the whole
I
season.
would rank some dudes ahead of Brian Thompson Jr. I agree, but I wouldn't go personally. I wouldn't say Brian Thompson Jr. is going to be a bust.
No. I'm just saying I would avoid him at his
I would
current
take Amon
draft
Ra
pick.
ahead of him. I would take McConkey ahead of him. Maybe I would take Neighbors ahead of him.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, we'll
I just
see.
think he's overrated. Like it's busts and or players who to avoid at their current draft pick.
It's like if the dude's in the second round, he's not a bust. He just might be overrated. Like he's obviously good.
Yeah, I think he's probably around, and he's not like Jacksonville, who's not their win total is 7.5. It's not like it's not like that people are running to back the Jags every week. They're going to be like a popular team. Okay, who do you have as another sort of player to avoid in the earlier rounds or bust?
Hmm. I have a few. I don't know. I think I really don't like how uh I don't like the I think there's just a lot there's a ton of risk if you draft Justin Jefferson just cuz like injury
Oh, the
history, but
quarterback.
that and injury history. Like yes, he's the best player in the best wide receiver in the world next to Chase
Top
probably.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, but like his I heard reports like a week ago, maybe they're not real anymore, that like his
Oh,
hamstring's already like kind of going, and it's like this dude has the same injury for the past like year and a half, 2 years, and it's like, is it still there? Obviously, it's still there. And it's like if the Vikings suck, which they can, there's a chance in the world the Vikings are bad. He's not gonna play. He's not gonna play through his injury. But if he does play and the Vikings are good, then it's like he could be like Jamar Chase last year. So a lot of risk. Um, I'm just looking at your rankings here. Where did you put Jefferson? You
5.
you put oh, you have him wide receiver too. Okay.
Yeah, wide receiver 2.
Um,
I think he's clear wide receiver 2 just by the
over
talent. But
over Lamb, eh? Or
yeah,
like
over Lamb, over Collins.
okay.
Houston, I'm not sold on their offense either. It's not like Houston and Dallas are the most stable organizations. Like, uh, yeah, exactly.
I would do so. I would put like everyone heard my number 3 take, Cowboys. Pickens, Lamb, best wide receiver duo in the league. So I would put Lamb ahead of Jefferson just because I'm
Oh,
projecting injury risk and I'm a delusional Cowboys fan. So like two things you're not supposed to do, but
you
you guys will
you
see.
think Lamb and Pickens are better than Chase and Higgins?
No, not Chase, bro.
Oh,
Jefferson. Like
oh.
I
No,
would
no.
take
You
Lamb.
said the Cowboys have the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Yeah, I do. Because we have a
They're
better
better than the
quarterback.
Bengals.
Yeah. Our quarterback's the third highest
Wow.
paid athlete in the world, buddy. What are you talking about?
Who is? Sorry.
Dak Prescott is
Oh
third highest
God,
paid
yeah.
athlete in the world.
That's the Cowboys' first problem because they got to pay somebody more than him.
Hey, we'll
And
see.
he's
We'll
yeah.
we'll talk in October, buddy. We'll talk week 3.
Okay. Okay. All right. I didn't bet the Cowboys under. I said on the show. I said
The
there's
most overpowered thing about drafting Bengals wide receivers is that the Bengals defense is the like really really bad. That's
yeah
the best thing about them. Hey, but the Cowboys defense could suck too now that Parsons isn't playing. So
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. It can
All
go
right.
either way.
So I got a short list of busts here. If you have another one, feel free to jump in. So Travis Kelce, this one's obvious. He even said it himself. He's distracted. The regular season, in my opinion, he's probably just gonna. It feels like the whole regular season might just be like he's gonna show up and block a little bit, catch a few balls when they need it, and in the playoffs he'll start to turn it on. Do any disagreement there?
What's his ADP?
Oh, it's low, but he's still like tight end 3 or something, or so tight end 4 or 5. Like in my opinion, you're better
Which
off.
tight end would you put? Yeah. Which tight ends would you put
He's
ahead
tight
of
end
him?
7.
Okay.
I don't want Andrews though because like I'm worried
Yeah,
that
because
drop might
Likely's more
start him.
Likely's a better
Um,
pass catcher.
sorry.
Isaiah Likely is a better pass catcher.
Yeah, that too. But I just worry Andrews like we were talking about this earlier. I just worry Andrews like that drop in the playoffs is gonna
Yeah,
might give him
can't
the
trust
yips.
him.
Like
But you
that's
can't trust
no, but that's like a mentally like that can mentally fuck you up. The fact that you dropped the touchdown. You know
I'm
what I
just gonna
mean?
go to Likely in the end zone now, I would reckon.
Yeah. Laporta, I don't know. I mean, he was okay last
Man,
year.
I drafted Laporta. I was high for some reason. I was high on Laporta last year. He had a down year. I don't know. I didn't watch enough Lions games to know why. Um, I don't know. The Lions offense is like, I feel like it's different every game. But they score a lot of points, so
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have Evan Ingram. I'd rather have Tucker Kraft because you can get them in like the last round or whatever. You know what I mean? Like even Mike, you can get Mike Gesicki probably with the last overall pick.
so
Like, he might
you're
be better
saying
than
you take
Kelsey for
Bauer?
10 weeks.
Who's the number 2 tight end?
So it's Bowers, Kittle, McBride. I think it's Bowers, McBride by like a mile. And yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. After the top 3. But the thing is, Kittle's going to get hurt for like 6 weeks, like almost
Yeah.
guaranteed. So I would much rather have the other 2.
Yeah. So you're saying
I
you
have
take
Bowers
one of the top.
going in the first round just because of the advantage at the position. Like you're going to have
You're
like
saying
10
you
more
take.
points than
You're saying you take the top 3 tight ends, and then if you don't, or you it's fine to take those guys, but if you don't get those guys, then you like wait to the last round and take like Tucker Kraft or like some like
Oh
random guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tucker Craft will probably go like round 10, round 12, but like
Yeah.
wait till like round
I like
10.
that. Yeah,
There's no
if you can't get those top, I would say top 2
yeah.
because I also don't like Kittle.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if Kittle falls to round 7, maybe you take him and you can take a second tight end later, right? Before he
yeah.
gets hurt.
Yo,
But
what's Bucky's ADP? I'm looking at your rankings. Isn't putting him in the first round like way ahead of where he's going?
oh yeah, it is. But
Why?
I think
Okay, so
I
you have
think
to justify this, bro. Like, what? Hold on.
oh
What's this
I
dude's
said this
ADP?
earlier, but well, just before I said Tampa's offensive line is really, really good. Tampa's offense is really, really good. He was the feature. Like, yes, there will be games he's going to throw a lot, but it feels like even when they like throw a lot in like the first half, like they feature him in the second half. Like they get Bucky the ball, and they have a good run game. Like their run game was elite last year after being awful for like 10 straight years.
Yeah.
So,
Both run it. Rashad White was also okay, just because of all
he was
the
okay
touches he
too.
would get. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I
just the
mean, if
running.
you have Bucky, you can probably get White in like the last round or like bottom
That'd be
3
good.
rounds
I
as
actually like
your
that.
handcuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. I think the offensive line is good. And I think Tampa's a good team. Okay, so my other players to avoid in the early rounds: don't take any Dolphins. Don't do it. It's a mess.
Okay, wait. Let's
It's a
talk
mess
about
down there.
let's talk
Huh?
about the best. Let's talk about the one Dolphin who everybody wants, though.
Achan,
Achan.
I
So
know.
you don't take Achan. You're
No,
insane. Okay, tell me why. That's
I
crazy.
wouldn't take him.
I
The
think
the whole
okay.
team right now is a mess. Sorry, go ahead. I'm cutting you
Okay,
off.
yes, the politics suck, but the politics have sucked. They were trash last year too. Like Tyreek was requesting trades and then taking it back, and Achan was still getting like 23 points a game with like random quarterbacks too. Like he's like I don't know. I think Achan's. I agree with your take, except I like Achan a lot.
Yeah, okay. Like I said, okay. If you want to take Achan in the third, fourth round, it's fine. But like, don't be surprised week 6 if Mike McDaniel is just like, I've had enough. I'm trying to get fired. I'm not going to run him. I'm going to run Wright and somebody else. You know what I mean? Like it's a mess down there. It's very risky, in my opinion, to take Achan.
Okay.
But there's high upside. There's very high upside. Like I talked about on the AFC East show. Like there's a chance the Dolphins' offense is just good, and all this like they can just somehow work with this nonsense going on. Maybe it's always been like this. You know what I mean? This is just like normal. It's just being shown in public now.
Hey, if Tua stays healthy, I think they have a great shot to put up a lot of points.
I think if you like a Dolphin, you can wait like 1 or 2 rounds after he's projected and he'll still be there because nobody wants to take them. So patience with the Finns if you want to take them. Like I personally think you could take a flyer on like Darren Waller in the last round, especially if Hill, something weird happens to him. Because it sounds like
is Waller tight end 1 like on the in the lineup? Like is there a dude ahead
he's
of
tight
him?
end 1. Smith got traded.
Okay. Well,
Smith's on Pittsburgh.
I think there's so much value in like Waller if he's going in like the 15th, like some.
Oh, he's tight end number on the list I'm looking at right now. He's like tight end. He might even be on. He's like tight end 36.
Oh, it's amazing. I would take that guy. I would draft that guy.
Even if he starts on the pup, put him on your IR for a couple weeks.
He's been on the pup for 2 years. Like sure,
he was on the pup in the preseason, but it sounds like he might play week 1.
Oh yeah,
another guy
is worth a late round pick.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Another guy would avoid maybe I think this guy has real bust potential. Like Achan, he'll be okay. Brian Thomas Jr., he'll be fine. He just might not match their draft pick. Kelsey, who knows? But Joe Mixon, I think, would be a real bust. This guy's getting old.
What team does he play?
He kind of fizzled out last year. Sorry?
Is he still on the Texans?
The Texans, yeah.
Okay. Who's the dude
behind
him?
I am not sure. I don't think it matters too much.
He's trash and old. Because people, I heard that take last year, and wasn't he like fine last year?
Yeah, he was on my team, but like at the end of the season, he kind of fizzled out, and in the fantasy playoffs, he was like a liability, but you like had to start him.
Yeah, just because he
because
was
he's
gonna get the
RB1
ball.
on a good team. But like he is the thing is going for
Oh,
is in the
buddy,
AFC
buddy,
South.
you know who the running back behind him is? Nick
Who?
Chubb.
Yeah. I like him. He's the guy. In my opinion, that well, I have a sleeper section. He's on my sleeper list. Spoiler, but Joe Mixon's probably gonna get hurt.
Yeah, and they're
Or
gonna put in
or
Chubb, and then they have Damian Pierce, if you remember who that
oh,
is.
he's a bum. Yeah, Damian Pierce a bum. But maybe he's improved his game, but what I've seen of him, scrub level.
Okay,
Um,
I like Chubb
another
though. I would
yeah,
look for
Chubb.
Chubb.
Chubb's a good draft pick late, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he might be overvalued. Like your league mates might reach for him because it's like Nick Chubb, like overall for former overall. So if they're being stupid, let them be stupid. But if he falls to you and you're in like a sharp league, then maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Other players to avoid any running back on the Broncos. we saw this last year. We never know who's running the ball here. Like you're
Jaleel
literally
McLaughlin, baby. What do you mean?
yeah,
I'm
Jaleel.
meaning
Like I'm gonna pull up the Broncos
Broncos
running
depth
back
chart.
depth chart here. It's like four guys who could all be RB1 because there's nobody who's like they're
Oh,
RB1 right now.
J.K. Dobbins is the clear number. Oh, who's this Harvey guy? Is this a rookie?
Yeah, Harvey rookie guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Who
okay.
he could be RB1 week 3, and then Jaleel McLaughlin could be. They've estimated was like RB1 1 week for them.
Yeah,
Broncos
yeah.
running backs.
If you had to get a guy on waivers, it was usually a Broncos RB because nobody knew.
Yeah, it was. You're playing. You're gonna draft. Like you're gonna start J.K. Dobbins, and he gets 5 carries, and because R.J. Harvey's having a good game, or Jaleel McLaughlin's having a good game, and Payne keeps them in, or that's a lot of maybe the Broncos are behind because Dobbins isn't a third down running back, but McLaughlin is. You know what I mean? And then Harvey, who knows? He's a rookie, but he's pretty highly ranked. What is he? He's RB. Oh, they
No,
locked
he
me
was
up.
drafted in the second round. Wow. He could be good, but
Yeah,
Dobbins is gonna probably start.
I just think it's
Yeah.
it's just stay away because we what happened last year like you said, if your running backs get hurt, go pick up one of the four. Who knows? And then the last sort of player to avoid I have or I guess players, the Philadelphia defenses and special teams. They're number 1 right now. I think that's too high. I think you probably play. You definitely take Denver over them. Their schedule is very, very hard. I think I deleted it from the streamer, but I have it up somewhere. It's a tough schedule. I don't think they're going to. Defense isn't sticky. I don't think they're going to perform like they did last year. We might see some sophomore slumps from some of the guys who stood out. They still play the Giants twice, so the other two teams in their division have decent offense. And the Giants' offense might be decent with Russ. We don't know.
Yeah. Wait, I agree. By the way, I'm gonna interrupt you. We have a question in chat. This guy's in a keeper league. Do you keep Josh Allen or Derrick Henry? I mean, okay. You go first because I think this is obvious.
It's tough, but I think it's Henry.
What? I go Allen, man. Allen's a cheat. Allen's like he's gonna play for at least like 5 more years. Derrick Henry, it could be his last year after one injury.
Do you know what a guillotine league is?
No,
Can I explain, Matt? I assume it's like you get eliminated if you finish last in a week. Do you say Allen? I like quarterback.
Well, how old is he? Josh Allen age. Like this guy is still.
No,
He's
he's like
29,
28, 29. He's in his prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quarterback 1 for me, but it's just you could keep Allen because but I have Henry. Like Henry's just so good on it was exactly that. Okay, yep. So I guess I didn't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Oh, you go Jaden Daniels.
18-person league. Jesus.
I don't want a Colt. I'm not taking a Colt in round 2. No, thank you. What would you take? Or Hampton? Oh,
Okay,
Hampton is interesting, but who would you take?
Jaden Daniels, 18-person league. Yo, 18 people is just crazy work, my friend. Jaden Daniels is going round 2. That seems kind of high.
That's up to 36.
Lamar and Josh, only QB's gone. This guy's on the clock right now. Lamar and Josh, only QB's
But
gone.
those are the top 3. It's Lamar, Josh, and Daniels, and then it's everybody. And then it's Hurts, and then it's.
Okay, so what do you think? There's a gap between 2. We got to help this dude out.
There's a big gap between 3 and 4. Yeah.
What about 2 and 3? That's what he's asking.
No, not really. I think you take Daniels.
Meg, take Daniels. I would not take Jonathan Taylor, and then Hampton is just more risk.
Hampton's a roll of the dice.
10 hours
per pick.
What is this league you're in?
This sounds
dude?
fun. I would think
like chess. It's like
what wide receivers are available? Is Bucky's gone, right? I'm just gonna say take Bucky, but if he's there,
you just picked Bucky because you picked him out last year out of the.
Yeah, I know, but he's good. Like it's not like I expect
everybody
him to be
knows
okay.
that. The first round is like you're putting a lot of equity into this dude.
Okay. Do you have any more? JSN's still there. Ooh, JSN. But Darnold.
I was gonna say
he has Amon-Ra though.
Okay. So I'm a Cardinals fan, and Kyler Murray kind of sucks. So I don't love Marvin Harrison Jr. just because Kyler Murray kind of sucks. And like, if you have Trey McBride, like I wouldn't put Trey McBride and Harrison Jr. on the same team. I think McBride I would take him, and like I would rather him on my team. I don't know. I don't like Harrison Jr. I think he could have an awful year. But he could also be really good if Kyler is reliable. But it's like a 5'8" quarterback, so he doesn't see where he's throwing is a big problem. I don't like short quarterbacks, but
yeah, I like the RB2 on the Cardinals, Trey Benson. I think he's kind of a good sleeper. Because Connor is getting old, and he's not the third down guy.
People have been saying Connor's been getting old for like the last 10 years, and every single year he's been fine. He's like playing almost every game, like all reliable James Conner.
That's fair. No, I don't think Jane Daniel falls off at all.
He'll get better, dude.
Last year.
He'll get better.
Yeah. He might get. Yeah,
I don't think his team got significantly worse in the offseason, so it's just going to be a better year for him.
Their schedule is harder. That's the only thing.
It's fine.
Yeah. Any other busts before we move on to round 3 to 7? All right.
Unless I'm gonna join the propaganda that McCaffrey's getting hurt, but that's a stupid reason. But he's still. Yeah. All right. Round 3 to 7 targets. All right, bro. I got to drop, but this was fun.
All right. I got 5 of them here. Yeah. I can wrap up. Thanks for joining.
Take it easy, guys. Go Cowboys. Woo!
Oh, the Cowboy fan himself, Jeremy, has left the building. All right, I have a few round 3. We talked a lot about this round 3 to 7 targets. Jaden Daniels, we're talking about this in the chat with Matt here. I think if you could get him round 3, I'm taking him. He's very, very good. And he's ranked lower than Lamar and Josh. And I think Lamar and Josh are slightly better, but I think it's close. So whereas the difference between Daniels and Hurts is probably a little bit is a bit bigger, and then the difference between Hurts and Daniels and everybody else is, but Burrow's good too. But again, they don't run. Like the running is just so good in fantasy. So I like Jane Daniels if you can get him round 3 or later. Ladd McConkey, we talked about this. Who's wide receiver 2 on the chart? I talk about the short I have on YouTube. Like it's like they signed Mike Williams. He retires. That's the charges for you. So who do they go? They signed old man Keenan Allen. He's back. The Quentin Johnson's wide receiver 2, Butterfingers. Yeah, McConkey's the clear wide receiver 1. It's not even close. McConkey there. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley played with Will Levis last year. And if you listen to the show last, Johnny the prop man, he thinks Will Levis is a bum, the mailman, and he's gone. And I have Cam Ward. Even if Cam Ward is just okay, it's an upgrade over Levis. And Ridley's a good wide receiver. So I think he might. And again, it's the same. Like who's challenging Calvin Ridley for his spot? Let's pull up the Tennessee Titans depth chart here. Who's challenging Calvin Ridley for his number one spot? Tyler Lockett. Okay, Tyler Lockett's like Van Jefferson. You know what I mean? After that, it's a bunch of guys I don't recognize, and I'm pretty into the fantasy world. So yeah, Calvin Ridley's by far the number one in Tennessee, and even if they're just okay, I think they're pretty good. Caleb Johnson, the running back, the rookie running back, looks like he's going to be RB1 for the Steelers. You can get him pretty late. The Steelers had a pretty good. Their offensive line is sus in the pass game, but really, really good at run blocking. So I think that Caleb Johnson could be a good pick in, round 3 to 7, maybe around 5-ish. And of course, Travis Hunter. I mentioned how Brian Thomas. I don't know if he finishes the season wide receiver 1. So Travis Hunter, I think you can get in like round 7. Round 6, round 7 in most drafts. And I like picking up Travis Hunter. All right, one more. Our sleepers, our late round picks. Quickly, we'll over what we talked about, right? Nick Chubb. We talked about that ad nauseum. Zach Charbonnet, I mentioned someone showed me their draft, wanted to grade. I mentioned that Zach Charbonnet is probably better than Kenneth Walker. And I could see him overtaking Kenneth Walker for the RB1. So I like late running back, Zach Charbonnet is one of my guys. Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver in San Francisco. We mentioned San Francisco's schedule. It was very, very easy. We pulled it up. I think he might end up like Brandon Ayuk's hurt. Who's their other wide receiver? Juwan Jennings is holding out. I don't know if he signed it. I haven't really been up in the Juwan Jennings talk, but maybe he doesn't sign, or maybe he's not ready after he does sign. Ricky Pearsall could be wide receiver 1 on a team with a very easy schedule and a good quarterback and a good RB1 and a pretty good left tackle, maybe the best ever, Trent Williams. So Ricky Pearsall, good little late round sleeper there for the Niners. Deebo Samuel is going way too late, in my opinion. This could be Terry McLaurin again, another wide receiver holding out or holding in, or contract concerns. We'll call them contract concerns, and maybe preparation concerns. Deebo Samuel, I know, we get the he's fat in the offseason and all this nonsense. But I mean, Brian Robinson. The rumor this morning, I saw Brian Robinson might be traded, so Deebo might even get some running back carries here. So I think Deebo Samuel is going a little too late in these drafts. I like him as a late sleeper. Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the quarterback of the Jets. They have some good skill position. Wilson and Hall. We talked about. I bet the Jets win total over. I got a 6 or just 5.5, whatever you prefer. Justin Fields is probably an upgrade over 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, and he has a running upside. We know that matters. He is and he's probably the starter the whole year. Take a look at the Jets. Who's their QB2? God, he's not good. When Justin Fields here, I was like, am I really gonna play the Jets? Tyrod Taylor, okay, he's all right, but it's not. They're gonna start Fields as much as possible. So I like Justin Fields as a late round quarterback here, with the running upside as well as pretty good skill position talent, and Jets have a decent offensive line. They can call some runs for him. He might get in the end zone a little bit. He's a pretty good QB1. I think that you can snatch up after the big boys go. Xavier Legette. Everybody's high on this Trattoria rookie guy, and maybe he's the business. Maybe he's really, really good. What I heard at a camp, Xavier Legette's looking really good. He's already got some decorum with some chemistry with Bryce Young, who had a quite improved season last year. So Xavier Legette, in my opinion, is worth a late round pick. I think the Panthers might take another step forward this year. There was the offense took a step forward last. The defense got hurt. But again, these teams with suspect defenses, good fantasy teams, because especially with wide receivers, what do? Throw the ball late. And especially when you have competent quarterback play. It feels like Bryce Young is going to give you competent quarterback play for the majority of the season. So I like Xavier Legette as a late round pick. Another quarterback, Drake May, and I've seen that this might not be as sharp of hot of a take. I think it is sharp. Drake May with this revamped pass off. There's a lot of receivers on this team. He has running upside. He, again, after the big five, after your, Daniels, Lamar, Burrow, Allen, and Hurts, the Baker's there, but there's a pretty big drop off. And I think Drake May could be one of those later round quarterbacks that could, lead you to the promised land, have 20 points a week, solid weeks. Especially if he gets in the end zone. We've seen he played behind a horrid offensive line last year, and the Patriots offensive line is still gonna be bad, but it's gonna it's not gonna be that bad. It's, give him a little more time, a little more. He has tons of escapability, running potential, better receiving options this year. Stephon Diggs, eventually will get on the team. So Drake May, I think could be, and then we know year 2 quarterback. That's when you see the big jump. So Drake May, and then the last but not least, the Seahawks defense. When I talk about the Philly defense, I don't know if they're my number 1 defense. I don't think they're, with the schedule and with the ridiculous play they got out of rookies. I mean, I get it. They draft well. They kept Zach Bond. They still have pretty good pass rush with Jalen Carter and the boys. But the Seahawks defense, somebody commented on the AFC NFC West video that they're really, really high on Seahawks defense. I agree. The Mike McDonald year 2 defense could be a problem. Their division, the Rams have pretty good offense, but it's not exactly you don't gotta play Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, the Joe Burrow twice, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles offense. You know what I mean? You're gonna get some not soft, but like half decent. Like middle of the road to middle of the road opponents. And they have really good players on this defense. The Seahawks, especially Woolen in the secondary. You have who's the guy who had the Reese something. Witherspoon, he's really good. The pass rush is good, and McDaniel's kind of signing his guys, and I think McDonald is signing his guys. Too many mics. I'm Mike too. I think the Seahawks defense could be a sleeper defense that you can get in the later rounds. I know defenses don't go off the board till around 10 usually. So, but if you want to wait to the very last pick, the Seahawks might still be there, and I think they're a contender. Plus, week 1, we play San Francisco, but there's a couple of weeks where they really. Let me just take a look. I still have the Seahawks schedule up. They're going to load. Yeah, New Orleans week 3. There's where everyone's going to pick them up there. So, if you draft them, maybe as your defense 2 in the last round, just hold them for the at Pittsburgh, New Orleans, pretty soft opponents early in the season. If you want to drop them after that, and if they don't pan out after that, no problem. But there are definitely spots where the Seahawks defense will, I think, will eat and could have potential to get turnovers, sacks, and lots of fantasy points. All right, that is it. We're going to just some final remarks. Good luck to you in your fantasy football draft, your fantasy football season. As long as you're not in my league, I'm just kidding. But overall, it should be a fun year. Like I said, I don't expect any of the top guys to really, unless they get hurt, to really be awful. I think the projections are getting better, but there's still value, especially in those later rounds really can make a difference. Like, look, I got Bucky really late last year. Saquon fell to me 7th overall. But that was early round, obviously. But just let sort of the draft come to you. If somebody falls, maybe they weren't even on your radar, maybe you weren't decided to pick them, but it's well, no one's taking this guy. He was ranked, this such and such. If you can get some value there, then maybe reach for one of the guys you really like. That's kind of how you let the draft sort of come to you. You don't see anybody available at the top. Maybe you reach a little bit. Maybe somebody that was at the top isn't being picked. Maybe you take them. Let the draft come to you, and have fun. And I know people treat these leagues like they're like their whole character, and that's great. It's all fun, but have fun and don't gamble too much on DFS and these things. Still keep your units thing. Rants, Rum, and Rouges. This Wednesday, that we are hot in the CFL. the Rants, Rum, and Rouges YouTube channel. Me and CFL Stats Geek Jason will be going over the CFL card. We are hot 5-2 last weekend, and one of the losses was a sprinkle on a money line on an underdog that we got the cover with. The week before, I think it was another good week. I don't know. I can't remember the exact record off the top of my head, but back-to-back outstanding weeks. We're up a few units here. I think we're up 5 or 6 units now on the season. The best bets have been great. We got a little lucky with the best bet last week, but we Winnipeg imploded as we expected. So tune in, Rants, Rum, and Rouges. We're getting hot in the CFL Wednesdays, 10:30 on Rants, Rum, and Rouges, or watch the replay at your leisure. And then this Friday, August 22nd or 23rd? August 22nd, CFL Stats Geek myself will be back on this channel to break down the AFC and NFC South. We'll take a look at some future bets, what we expect from them over the balance of the season, as we've been doing throughout the month of August on this channel. The NFL season is quick approaching. Fantasy drafts are quick approaching. Thanks everybody who tuned in, commented. I am Pieguy. You can follow me on Instagram at Pieguy9871. On Twitter at Salty Mangs, and obviously the YouTube at Pieguy9871. Have a good Monday. Have a good week, and we'll see you back Wednesday. Rants, Rum, and Rouges on that channel. Goodbye.